This is an Egbete community situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. In Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set rolled out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the royal family takes the stage as their children fight out royally and work in the community to showcase their might and fitness.
My leader. Council for Arts and Culture. Òṣòdì aṣáájú abẹ́rẹ́ pé. Àyàbá tọ́jú abẹ́rẹ́ pé. Àlàyé àtọ́jú abẹ́rẹ́ pé. Ẹgbẹ̀túwà.
Welcome to yet a fresh episode on the program Law and You, as we spotlight very, very important, issue that we see every day in our everyday transactions. Now, do you know that owing money in Nigeria can cost you more than just the interest? It can cost you your peace of mind. It can also cost you your dignity. It can cost you even sometimes your life. A situation where, you get midnight calls after getting your daytime calls, from those that you took the money from, to a point even where you are being harassed or sometimes even brutalized, and also to a point where you are facing a demand notice or a court order, and then law enforcement and all the rest. How then can we draw the line legally, or what the laws of the land apply to where we can draw the line between what is a legal means of recovering debt and what is also an illegal means of recovering debt? My name is Philip Omo-Gyukpong. This is the courtroom where we look at these issues and find a way to resolve them. And discussing this with me, I have a legal practitioner with me, and his name is Emmanuel Obakpalo. Big thanks for joining me in this new year.
Good day, Philip. Good day, Nigerians.
All right, so let's look at the background on what debt is before we go into total about where we can draw the line between what can be called illegal debt recovery and illegal means of recovery.
Debt recovery is a pure civil matter.
Oh, it's not criminal.
Civil, yes. And there are legal frameworks.
You mean owing debt is,
Yes.
is a civil case?
Civil. Pure civil.
If the debtor defaults.
Civil. But there are legal frameworks on debt recovery. And what are these? They are 14 in number. But time may not permit us to begin to go through them all.
Absolutely.
So we may choose some of them. 1, the Companies and Allied Matters Act. 2, the Central Bank Act. 3, the High Court Civil Procedure Rules of various states. 4, the Federal High Court Civil Procedure Rules of the Federation. 5, we have the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Company. These are some of this debt recovery we have. We also have the Alternative Dispute Resolution Act. Now, when you look at debt recovery, like I did say, is a pure civil matter, and it has procedure and processes to be followed. Now, if A gets money from B, or loans money from B, or borrowed money from B, you are to pay back that money based on the conditions upon which the loan was given. So it becomes a contract between the parties. And the party that is now the loanee, the party that is now the debtor, is duty bound to obey the conditions upon which the contract was entered.
Even if the conditions does not meet the requirement by law?
The conditions must be, it is only the court that has the power to interpret whether or not the conditions meet the requirement or does not meet the requirement. Where they don't meet the requirement, the court will find out it.
Okay.
Because, you see,
even if the court finds out it, but the loanee has signed to that. So there's a contractual agreement.
Yes. Somebody can be that so desperate and assign and go to sign anything that will even be to his detriment.
So can the court admit that, being that the person signed to that agreement, even though it doesn't, or it negates, or it breaches the constitutional provision? The
court may, where it breaches or it violates the law.
Okay.
The court will not accept the conditions.
We ignore the signature.
Yes.
That, or
the court will not accept it in total.
Okay.
The court will want to look at the fairness of the condition.
Okay.
And what it should be, what the law says.
To administer justice.
Yes, with respect to it, because the court only gives justice. And the court looks at, and justice can be two-way traffic. So the court considers that. So, and as such, in such a situation, even the debtor can get the approval of the courts for protection. Okay. The law protects also the debtor. So that is what we look at.
Okay.
And that is what the court considers when there is a matter of such nature before
Is
it.
this what you just said is indicative of a contract? But let's look at, as in a written contract, I mean. But let's look at a situation where there's just a verbal agreement, like friendly loans, for instance. I don't want to use the word, but let me use the word informal loaner or lender giving to a friend, like me giving to a friend and saying, well, 2 months back, I needed money, okay? But by the time my friend now defaults, just a verbal gentleman agreement, you know. By the time he now defaults, do we have the local standard to litigate?
Yes, you know, contracts, there are two types of contracts. There is the implied contract, which is a verbal contract. It simply means that the contract is not spelled out in black and white. The contract is not written. It takes the form or pattern or nature of a gentleman's agreement. Such contract, the law also allows it, recognizes it rather, and allows the contract to be between parties, just as because the law recognizes it, and the law also considers situations of such. There is also the express contract. This one now is a contract entered by the parties where they spell out the contract, the conditions,
written,
the terms, everything that the parties must do with respect to that contract. And you see, express contract is always easier for the parties who entered it.
For debt recovery,
yes,
it's always easier.
Yes, because of the contract is spelled out.
Documented.
That every person, every Tom, Dick, and Harry can read and understand that this is a contract entered by the parties. However, where in an implied contract or what is known as gentleman agreement, there are also conditions the court will look at, particularly where that loan that was given or the borrowings that was administered frowns are contrary to conditions of debt of loans. I get me, of loans. For instance, the interest. If the interest is over burdensome, if the interest contradicts the percentage as provided for by law, the law will also look at such contract that the parties ought to be fair to themselves with respect to that contract. So what the court
the bond norm takes effect.
Yeah. So what the court
situation.
Yeah. So what the court does is that the court looks at the fairness of the condition between the parties or amongst the parties, as the case may be. So in debt recovery, there are legal process to recover your debt. However, in course of carrying out the debt recovery, if a party, either of the party, choose to assault or batter another, it now has a criminal flavor.
Okay. Before we go there, let's exhaust and explore this aspect you just said, most especially, for instance, for how you call it, a gentleman agreement, verbal agreement. And this does not involve, the lender having the license to do that. How does the court address this?
Where the lender is not a certified lender, it becomes an issue.
For debt recovery, you mean?
Yes,
or
for
to
debt.
litigate? Both.
When you want to recover debt, you follow the processes. If you choose to toe the line of alternative dispute resolution, where a mediator is appointed, even for there to be a mediator, it is the parties that must apply to court. The parties must apply. So the court appoints, or the court appoints to them a mediator for them. But in most contracts today, the parties in their agreement where the loan now is an express one, that means documented. The parties themselves, always put in that contract a clause suggesting the process of how to recover the debt. They put a process. They may say, okay, where the loanee violates this, our first step will be that we will both appoint a mediator who is to sit to determine the matter between the two of us. And where that doesn't work, we cannot choose to go to court. Where that happens, sir, the parties, where there is a violation of the terms and conditions of that contract, either of the party cannot just run to court to seek redress. If you go where the conditions of the contract is now brought to court, and the court sees that there is a clause that says that first the parties must go to a mediator, seek an alternative dispute resolution to ensure that this matter is determined. The court will now ask the parties to go and do so. Until that fails, that is when they cannot come to court. And in most modern contracts today, that is the pattern they follow in recovery of debt. They ensure that the process upon which the debt will be recovered is followed, is infused in that contract. So that's why it is safer and better to have an express contract with respect to loan or borrowings.
All right, thank you.
The parties will be more secured than the oral one where there may be a processes or method of denial.
All right. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Well, this is Law and You in case you're just coming across it. And my name is Philip Omo-Gyukma. I'll be speaking with Emmanuel Obakwalo, a legal luminary. And we're going to be taking a short break, after which we'll delve deeper into the topic, most especially the aspect of harassment and seizure of property. Where does the law draw the line to stay? Welcome back. The show is Law and You. I still have my guest with me now. Can a loaner or a lender, seize the loanee's property without due process?
No. It becomes an offense. It becomes a crime.
It becomes a crime?
Yes.
Or a civil wrong?
The civil wrong will not metamorphose to crime because you cannot seize the property of a debtor or a loanee without a court order.
Okay, a court order must be there.
You cannot. You don't have that power.
Okay, but let's paint a scenario where the lender is not really registered by law.
Whether or not it's not a certified lender or a legal lender, a legal lender cannot seize.
Talk less.
More of a lender that is not certified. You cannot seize someone's property. That's why some of these persons who call themselves private lenders, who are registered, you see them, one of the conditions they give most times when there is need to borrow money from them, they will give a condition of bring a landed property.
Yeah, like collateral security.
Yes.
My mind was going there.
Bring a landed property. And most times their interest, they will want to go and know the land, see where the land is, and they begin to pick interest. So by the time the lender is defaulting, the loanee or the borrower is defaulting, you see them begin to show interest with respect to that land. At times they'll just go sell they pretend to sell the property to somebody, that person will overturn or sell the property to them again. So and when they want to present before the court, if the matter now goes to court, They'll say that they sold. The court will say, no, you don't have that power. You don't have that power. Where there is a default of the contract entered by the parties, the best method or best step to take is to seek redress. Go before the court and say, XYZ had violated the agreement, the contract entered between us or between the parties. And as such, I want to recover my money. The court will come up with a proper judgment.
Okay.
Someone that will even give both parties peace.
Okay, take for instance, in the gentleman's agreement, there was an agreement that if you are not able to pay me in 2-3 months, I pick your car. Is that admissible in court?
It isn't.
Even if the loanee signed to it?
It isn't. You should pay back your money. And even if there's any need for the car to be sold, he should by himself sell his car and give you your money. It's safer and it's legal. But when there's a seizure of the car by the lender,
that becomes an illegal means of debt recovery.
Illegal means of debt recovery. And you know, it suggests crisis between the parties. But mind you, at the point of entering into that contract, the parties enter into the contract with peace, smiles, joy, and happiness. But now that you want to recover the debt, there's now crisis.
Because money is involved.
Not only that, especially where you follow illegal means to recover that debt. There will be crisis between the parties. When you follow legal means, for instance, you go to court for redress, the other party will even be more afraid.
Okay.
And may want to seek an alternative dispute ADR means of resolving the matter. May say, okay, may tell the court, my lord, can we settle out of court? Maybe at the close of the day, the court may pass such as consent judgment between the parties. But where you toe the line of illegality to recover that debt, it becomes an issue.
Okay, let's look at how a loaner, or rather a lender, can get his debt back in terms of what is being owed, can recover his debt, most especially if he is not having the license, required license, and there are charges or interest that was inbuilt, because we had this conversation off camera. So I want you to bring back on record as in if such a lender or a gentleman who gave that money out, if he has the legal backing to impute interest when he has no license as a lender.
It's commonsensical. He doesn't have right to request for any form of interest. He doesn't have that right.
On the basis that he's not licensed?
Yes, he doesn't have that right. Because that purported or supposed contract entered by the parties is even an illegal contract. And an illegal contract cannot become legal by seeking redress in the court.
But the court can give it a soft landing, mostly to the creditor, because it was just an act of kindness.
Act of kindness.
Take for instance, I'm lending money to a friend. It was an act of kindness. And
act of kindness.
You can't tell me I can't get the money back, even though I built interest on it.
No, you can't get that interest.
I can't get the money with the interest.
Yes.
What makes you say so?
Because you are not a certified lender.
Okay, so what would the court do, or what do we have as the law?
So it still depends on.
I only get my money back without it.
Yes, and it depends on the process you also follow.
Considering the fact that this money has spent months, I would have rather given my money into the business and then it yields profit.
It is not.
Isn't the law going to also find a way to resolve that? Because it involves money that I would have kept into the business and it would have yielded profit.
It is not the duty of the court to know how long the debt has been and the time you choose to recover the debt. It is not the duty of the court. That contract from the outset is an illegal contract. So you cannot now give it the flavor of legality to ensure because
it passed to the bank, for instance, and it was written loan.
Loan, mind you, you just told me that it's a gentleman agreement between two friends, and the lender is not a certified lender. So it's the toga on that contract is that it is a mere gentleman agreement between the parties. So he can seek redress to recover the debt, but the interest, he is not qualified to do that. He is not. He can just say, I need my money. Stricto sensu. And mind you, there is going to be a counter also from the borrower.
Okay.
To say, no, it was this, it was not this.
Okay, so let's look at the safest way, because it's one thing for you to request for money as a loan. It's another for you to, keep integrity and get this money paid. Now, what's the safest way? Because we are advising the public, for instance, what's the safest way to get money as loans?
One.
Is it from just the bank?
The bank.
Microfinance bank also?
Yes.
Certified?
Certified. Go to the bank. Make an application. We have too many banks. We have the Bank of Industry. We have the Bank of Agriculture. It depends on what you want to do with the money you want to loan. Because first, you must convince the bank what you want to use the money for. Not because you want to buy tissue paper. You now go and apply in the court, in the bank, that you need a loan.
Or personal consumption.
Or you want to, yes, or you want to buy phone for yourself. You go to the bank and apply for loan. No. What will the money be used for?
That's where we are, because this stringent means, all right, tied to getting loans from banks, brought a point where we now see loan sharks, digital loans, feasting on the unsuspecting public. So how do you address that bottleneck in the banks, for instance?
Technology also has its own disadvantage. I saw somebody who has an app on his phone, and he was using it to get loans, small loans, from some illegal
loan sharks.
Yes. And one of the days they called him to say, come, you are already owing over 50-something thousand naira. Come and pay. We are giving you 3 days to come and pay the money. And he was running up and down. I said, why did you do that?
So to avoid that, how do we tackle that aspect of the banks, for instance? Because we're going to be rolling this into a fresh episode, and we'll delve deeper into the digital loans that you just made mention of. But before we round off in less than 3 minutes, how do we clear off the bottleneck system in the regular banking system, for instance, that now gave room for all of these, ways by which those who are applying for loans now seek other means instead of seeking the right way where they will not be defrauded. So how do we address the bottleneck system in banks?
The banks should ensure that the processes to
flexible.
Get loans are flexible. Because just now it is very cumbersome.
But the bank doesn't allow personal consumption.
No, you cannot, because like you are hungry. You want to go and apply for loan.
You must
what do you do with the money? Convince the bank. Because the bank too,
except it's a salary account, for instance.
Yes, the bank too
that can be given on personal consumption.
Yes, because you have a salary account. Yes, but if at the end of the day, when the salary comes, the bank takes the money.
But if it's not, then maybe we'll be looking at the turnover, for instance.
Because one, the bank also consider how much is this person applying for, the amount of the money. So that will now make the bank to be strict and ensure that the process is strict. Why? The bank want to be safer, to ensure that they are not giving their loan to the wrong person, and that their loan will come as at when due. And two, even the borrower will not be a fraudulent person.
Okay.
2. And 3, 4, the borrower too will use the money for the purpose for which it was applied for.
All right, thank you, Emmanuel Obakpolo. Awesome to have you join on this very, very sensitive and fresh topic on today. We're going to be looking at this, an extension, which is the second episode, which we'll be looking at still on debt recovery, both the legal and illegal means. Do well to join us same time next week. I am Philip Omo Gyupon. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin Aqua Seed. Ayo or Aqua Game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Aqua Game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
ITV, certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
I thank you so much for joining us on the program Woman to Woman. I'm Adesuwa Sawage, and today on the program we want to look at prioritizing yourself as a woman, prioritizing yourself as a woman. Suffice to say, let the woman breathe. You know, a lot of women do so much more than they can handle, and just because they are women, they just keep going. A woman can be doing 5 things at the same time. She multitasks, and at the end of the day, what does she get for it? Sometimes nothing. Other times she may be rewarded, and all of this most often in time goes without commendation. And this is telling on the woman. In this 2026, a woman should brace. Just because a woman is a wife or a woman is a daughter, a woman is just a woman, does not mean she should be a beast of burden. So that's what we want to talk about today on the program Woman to Woman. I already have Favor Eniye Omorege in the house. She is a nurse, a pastor, a counselor, a lecturer at the College of Nursing Sciences, University of Benin Teaching Hospital. And she's a woman you want to meet, particularly when you need that person to talk to you about something you don't really want to let out. But she's one of those few persons that you can talk to. They promote you now, so good.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Nice being with us this evening. Happy New Year once again.
Okay, thank you. And hopefully Dorcas will be able to join us via Zoom. We're trying to fix one or two things right now. Dorcas Onoga is a counselor, a PR practitioner, and she's going to be joining us via Zoom from Benin City. All right, Favor, let's go to our topic now. You know, prioritizing yourself as a woman, let the woman breathe, is a lot. So, how does prioritizing oneself, what does it mean to you as a woman, prioritizing yourself?
When we talk about prioritizing ourselves as women, it's talking about you putting yourself first, you know, acquiring some importance to yourself as a woman, seeing yourself as very, very important. Important enough to be first than being second. So when we're looking at prioritizing yourself as a woman, we're looking at you setting boundaries, having limits to care for yourself before you look at any other thing or any other person. Putting yourself first at every point in time, irrespective of what the society says, what the people around you says, put yourself first as a woman. Consider yourself before others. Even the Bible says that you should love your neighbor as yourself. So love yourself first. Before you talk about your husband, before you talk about your children, before you talk about siblings and the society.
Okay, will that not make a woman look selfish? Because the kind of training that most of us got is this fact that you should take care of your family when you're married, you take care of your children, you take care of the husband, you take care of the in-laws, you take care of everybody around you, and then you now end up being the last person on the list. So how can a Nigerian woman, when Edo State Nanabe, so how can a Nigerian woman, an Edo woman, put herself first? Because we often put others first, like you rightly mentioned, before ourselves at any cost. No matter what, you put others first for. So what are the things we should do specially to make sure that we put ourselves first? How can we do that? How can we achieve that?
One of the things we should do as women to put ourselves first is, first and foremost, you should have time to rest. Have time for rest. Set your priorities. You know, when you arrange activities that you have, which suits you best? Okay. You know, don't always look at the one that suits A first, or what will others say. No. Avoid perfectionism by all means. You know, women would like to be perfect, doing everything in a perfect way. No. What suits you? What's okay with you? Not what Mr. A thinks. Not what other person thinks about you.
But you know, we thrive on that issue. We listen to what people say.
Lord.
What will people say? What will society say? How will society judge us? How will the church judge us? You know, things like that.
Very well. In this new year, I want to beg us as women, if we must set ourselves as priorities, then look beyond what people say. Whether you like it or not, people will definitely talk. No. So knowing that people will definitely talk, you should consider yourself before considering any other person. All right? How do you do this? Set your boundaries. Have timelines on what you want to do, how you intend to achieve them, without unnecessarily pressurizing yourself. Don't put yourself under any pressure.
A lot of women have set that boundaries you've been talking about.
Okay.
A lot of women have. And a lot of women will continue to set that boundaries. But it gets to a point in that woman's life that that boundaries they have set, they cross it over by themselves. They shift it aside. And it is because of what will my in-laws say if she's a married woman? What will that, it's like society have kind of set these invisible rules that a woman follows stricto sensu. How do we deal with the issue of society? And how can a woman, like, just dust your ears, grow a thick skin? It's easier said than done.
True.
Easier said than done. So how can a woman set that boundaries for herself, ignoring whatever the society is going to say? It's even your husband that will judge you first.
Abi.
It's even the husband that will judge
Very well,
first.
it starts from the judgment starts from the house, from the home.
When did all this one start? So how can that woman set that boundary, hold it and own it, and say, look, this is boundary, this is me time, don't cross it?
Fine. One of the ways to set these boundaries and own it is, delegate duties. It's not compulsory you must do it. Okay. What's important is some of these things should be done. It's not compulsory, it has to be you. Delegate duties. Learn to allow other persons do some of these things that
what
you
if
think
you don't have those other persons to do those things? What do you do?
Like
in some homes, some men would never accept their wives to have maids.
True.
All right?
Very well.
So how can that woman delegate? Before you answer that question, let's quickly meet Dorcas. Dorcas, how are you doing? Hello, Dorcas.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm sure you can hear me now.
I can hear you very well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the show today.
Okay.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So we're looking at you and I as women, how to prioritize ourselves first, because we are used to putting every person first before ourselves. We'll think ourselves last. A woman is sick, and some other persons are sick around her. She wants to deal with those that are sick first before she remembers herself. She usually jettisons her own self-care. So what does prioritizing oneself mean to you as a woman, Dorcas?
As a woman, prioritizing yourself, it will give you the atmosphere for growth, to give you the space for grace, not pressure. It means creating the mental, emotional, and physical space for authentic development. This isn't about isolation, but about intentional honoring yourself. Making yourself comes first. Prioritizing yourself, making yourself to know that these are the things I should do, and set boundaries for yourself, just as the first guest has said. It makes you to establish a non-negotiable thing to work with. It means practical strategic withdrawal for certain things that drains you. It means reclaiming your narrative about things. Don't listen to what people have to say, but what you think is best for you. Making yourself comes first. Make yourself come first. Yes.
How can we stop listening to what people say?
How can we let people?
Yes, how can we, build ourselves to stop listening to what people say and just do things that is good for us?
You see, in this life, if we want to do things that pleases people, you displease yourself. The boundaries are the limits you set to protect your energy, time, emotions, and value. They are not words to keep people at, but gates you control, letting in what serves you and filtering out what drains you. So for you to be able to set boundaries for yourself, you have to have self-awareness. Who are you? What are the things that drains you? What are the things that energizes you? So it's not left for you to decide which to follow. If you want to prioritize yourself, then you go for the ones that energizes you. So how do you feel? Do you feel resentful? Whatever it is, if anybody is crossing your boundary, how do you handle it? So when you are able to identify your core value, then you'll be able to protect what matters most to you as a woman.
Well, will that not be like you're being selfish? Because in trying to create time for self-care and own your own space, focus on those things that energizes you, and then discard all of those that drain you, would that not look like the woman is being selfish and self-centered?
No. Setting boundaries is self-respect and not selfishness. You have to recognize the fact that you cannot pour out from an empty cup. You have to be full for you to be able to fill others. So prioritizing yourself gives you that room to be able to develop yourself and make yourself full before you can put into others, because you cannot fill from an empty cup.
Okay.
You understand? So you cannot fill from an empty cup. So you have to be full yourself. You want to understand that healthy boundary actually improves our relationship. So with that, you have to set that boundary that gives you that atmosphere to create healthy relationship.
Okay, thank you, Dorcas. All right, and let me come back to you now. You were going to give me an answer to the question I asked. So how do we do it? What are the tips? What are those secret things you need to tell us today on how to, because you are talking about setting boundaries. Dorcas is saying setting boundaries, discard all of those things that drain you, concentrate on positive energy and all of that. So how do we achieve it? To say it is so easy and cheap, you know, without sounding like a motivational speaker, how do we get it?
One of the ways is pamper yourself, as simple as it sounds. Pamper yourself.
Okay.
You know, give yourself a treat. Rather than always be self-confident. Be confident in yourself, to know yourself well enough to know when you have gotten or you are approaching your boundaries. You know, sometimes when we are talking about these setting boundaries, we do assume that we have done our boundary setting and we go crossing it. Why? Because we don't even value ourselves. When you add some little value to yourself as a woman, you will for sure want to keep yourself healthy, want to be fine. You know, if the best way to be there for others is to first be there for yourselves, for yourself rather. When you are there for yourself, you are strong enough to wage others when they need your support. But if you are not strong, you've not taken care of yourself, then you are going to be as good as a very weak pillar without strength. So strengthen yourself from within first. By so doing, you'll be setting for some very beautiful boundaries. And also, another thing is take out time to rest. Take out time to sleep. Take out time to drink water. Take enough fluid. Address yourself. Be well. Go for medical checkups. You know, all of these. By so doing, you are setting boundaries. You are helping yourself so that others will not cross your boundaries. If you tell somebody by 10 a.m., this is what I do, this is my schedule, and by 10 a.m., you don't want disturbance, put your phone on flight mode. Another challenge that we have as women is our phones. You know, you can say you are setting boundaries and you're always on the screen, you know, chatting, sending messages, and the person you told you had boundary will be wondering, I see my wife that says she's setting boundary. She's been online since morning. I bet mother come and cook Joe, you know, and all of that. Why? Because you've not respected your boundary. Respect your boundary before you start looking for others that are going to respect your boundary.
Okay, we'll take a very short break here. When we come back, we'll continue and, of course, end the show. Just stay with us. Something was just going through my mind when that advert was on, prioritizing yourselves, prioritizing self-care and all of that. I'm just wondering how many women will take our time to like break that circle. Prioritize yourself. Come to this couples classic. Even though it's that couples classic, you can actually come alone. That's why you should be able to earn your own money and, you know, flex with it. That's one of the things you should indulge in. If you know they earn money, you know the answer. So just find time to come and unwind at the couples classic. I'm expecting you, Favor. And Dorcas, I'm also expecting you. All right, moving on. It's been said that women are the problems of women. But is it possible for a woman to help another woman to prioritize herself, prioritize self-care? Is it possible, Favor?
Very well.
How?
Very, very well. As women, we can prioritize ourselves and assist or help our neighbors, our fellow women, prioritize themselves.
How?
How? Counseling.
Okay.
You have a friend that is worked up. You just know that this person is just at the verge of breaking down. Talk the person out of that problem. You can help by counseling, encourage, motivate these persons. You know, somebody they are doing that they are doing right. Praise them. Praise the little effort you see these people putting in. You know, don't join the male folks. Don't join other persons to castigate women. That's words. Women are enemies of women. In a lot of ways, you can look around in our society. Women, we have a way of fighting ourselves, and it's not the best. When you just bring an issue that concerns a woman to the media, you see women flocking in and, you know, they want to crucify her, crucify her. But in the midst of that, let's see the strength of every woman around us. Okay. And help uphold their strength. When you help the woman close to you uphold her strength, you know, you are helping prioritize that particular woman. And she starts seeing the gold in her and wants to cherish it and keep it. But at the time you join the cultural norms and everything to bring her down, she was like, if I go now, they will join my husband. If I go, they will say the husband is always right. So there's no need. But sometimes let's learn to tell ourselves the truth. Learn to encourage your fellow woman.
All right, thank you for that. Dorcas, you know, there are some women who are very busy. Very busy. Even when they are not working, they are busy. Doing house chores is not an easy task. Well, some persons see it as ordinary. Is it not just to do this or to do that? But it's a very serious business. So how can a busy woman fit into this self-care business that we have brought this afternoon to every woman out there? How can a busy woman whose schedule is very tight, how can she bring out time for that her tight schedule to enjoy prioritizing herself or to have that me time?
Okay. For that, I'll talk about SWOT analysis here. Know yourself. Know your strengths, your weakness, opportunities, and threats.
Okay.
So I will say we should take two here, which is this, your strengths and your opportunity. What are the things that you will do that will strengthen you, like I have earlier mentioned? So these are the things you should focus yourself in. How do you plan your day? What are the things that you do that gives you energy, that makes you to have joy and satisfaction? These are the things you should concentrate on. Then we talk about your opportunities. What are the opportunities out there? The opportunities that will make you to improve on yourself. The opportunity that will create the room for you, despite your busy schedule, to still have fun for yourself as a woman, that will in turn bring satisfaction to you. So you go for those opportunities in your busy schedule. You can say, oh, once in a week, this and these are the things I will be doing. I will be joining this conference. I will be holding this meeting that is going to take place. I will be attending this meeting. So by so doing, you are creating time for yourself. You are fulfilling your work as a woman. Despite your busy schedule, you also be able to cope all through. I mean, you make sure that both sides, no one suffers. You are able to give out that which is required of you to give out, and at the same time, you are able to satisfy yourself as a woman by knowing your strengths.
Thank you, Dorcas. We're pressed for time. All right, Favor, what's your parting statement now, or parting sentence to our men who are watching this program, who have women who work from dawn to dusk without taking rest? What's their involvement in all of this? Because they must be involved.
Yes, they have to be involved.
It's just one sentence, please.
Our men, please encourage your women. Make them happy.
Okay.
A happy woman will prolong your life and make your children healthy children too.
Okay, Dorcas, what's yours?
The men should try as much as possible to support the women. Money is not everything. Words of encouragement, good words, support them, greeting them, acknowledging their strength, acknowledging their efforts, praising them in whatever thing they are doing to ensure that the family is moving and helping. When you give her, when you appreciate somebody, you are able to make her to do more for the family.
All right, thank you so much, Dorcas, for finding time to be with us on the program. Despite all of that you told me earlier on, don't worry, you'll be fine. Okay, so get well as soon as you can. We'll miss you on the show. And Favor, thank you so much too for finding time to join us. We'll see you again very soon. Woman, prioritize yourself. Learn to breathe. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
This is ITV. Certainly the best.
ITV. Certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
Oh, my son, my dear. We say, oh, my dear. Oh, we're not here. It's not where I give you. Not over. Yes. Not do so much. Yes, we sit down and we sit down and oh, it's not here. We see. What's my dear? It's comment c'est papa que voici quoi voici nous irons ça m'a toqué
Ìwàyájí máa pọ̀ mí sáàmà mẹ́. Ìwàyájí máa pọ̀ mí sáàmà mẹ́.
The Esama of Benin Kingdom thanked the new Edion for visiting him and advised them to always abide by the rules and regulations of their new positions. The Esama urged them to indulge in what will continue to bring development and progress to the community.
When I say it's your job, I wait to us and I know what I will.
Yes, Papa.
Caliban was in a cocoa, no, we said, who paid you? Who paid you?
Baba.
Eko mwana sewa. Ewa ya lote nete dirwe asewa mako. Awe huwe dine. Ejo wuki. Ejo na wele. Ejo na pulupe. Ejo na mnuri ya kwa ewa hangi wala. Wawe kwa ba. Ojo wele. Kaja de nena ya de wuyi. Wawe kwa de wuna no mase vlo kai.
Kada